Hi, my name is Owen Ford. I wanted to start by reviewing our major data table called pizza sales. So each column, we have the order ID, the date the pizza was ordered, the time, the pizza type, the size, the quantity, the unit price, the price of just one of the orders, the location, the employee, whether or not a promo was used to order, the payment method, the customer rating, delivery time in minutes, the total price, and the invoice. So the first thing that I did was work with this salesperson sales table, and I used a max ifs function to determine the maximum sale that Diana had, and I did that for every salesperson. And then similarly, I did a min ifs function to determine the lowest sale that each employee had. And we were a merit-based company, so I used a nested ifs function with the and function with the criteria of their max sale. If their max sale was greater than 19 and a half or 1950, and their minimum sale was greater than 850, then they were eligible for a bonus, and if not, they were not. I also worked on this sheet. I used the filter function to filter by pizza size, just so we can see the different orders with every size. So let's see, medium, and then the larges, and back to the small. And then over here, just using this order ID cell, I use a VLOOKUP as the reference or to reference that cell to find the pizza type. And then I used an XLOOKUP referencing this cell to find the salesperson. And then use today's date for the last time that this was looked up. And then finally, I used the sort by function on this site, on this sheet, to sort by the customer rating. This just gives us a view of all of our different orders and the ratings that are associated with it. It gives us an opportunity to review.
Hi everyone, my name is Kai Huang. My first I used at first I first used the weekday function and to figure out which day of the week each order was placed. This will help us to understand the performance varies across the weekdays. And second ones I use the if functions coming with or an end function to label each orders as on time and early and late based on delivery minute. This helps us to evaluate which orders were efficient and which weren't. And third ones, I use the if and not function to decide if we need to contact customers. If delivery time was too long, it's trigger contact labels, flagging lost order for following up. And next ones, I use the average function to calculate average delivery time across all orders. Uh, the result the result showed that overall delivery time was within target, uh, which means our team doing well on the consistency. And next worksheet, I use the let function to calculate employee commission uh, in a clear way. I also include customer rating in my formula. High rating result in a bonus, and uh, low rating could lead to penalty deduction. These functions have this is function help automate analysis and give us real insight into the performance and the customer service. They also made our spreadsheet clean, dynamic, and easy to update in future.
To continue this presentation, we will be taking a quick look at how Excel's rand array function can be used to generate estimated sales data, just like you see here for the different pizza types after April 7th, 2025. The numbers in the right column range from 15 to 30 and help us to prepare for upcoming demand. Instead of entering these numbers manually, we can use the rand array function to simulate or randomize these sale figures, which is great for modeling scenarios. Every time the sheet recalculates, these numbers will change, giving us a fresh set of estimates for each piece of type. Next, we will be looking at the pivot table, the slicer, and the pivot chart on the total prices sheet. The table on the left is a pivot table that summarizes the total price for each pizza type, which is organized by location. The filter at the top can either include all of the locations or only a selected few. The grand total column to the right adds up the sales from all the locations for each pizza type, and at the bottom there is a grand total for each of the locations and a grand total of all of the locations. To the right of the pivot table, there is a slicer labeled Promo Use that will let us instantly move between sales that did or did not use a promotion. Now we'll talk about the pivot chart on the right. This is a stack column chart that is a visualization of the data from the pivot table. The pizza types appear along the x-axis with the pricing being on the y-axis. The bars are also color-coded by location, and there is a key on the right side.
Hi, my name is Elise Hart, and the functions that I completed were the count if function, which counts the cells within a range that meet a certain condition, and in this case, it is the total orders for a type of pizza. Secondly, I did units sold, which uses the sum if function, and the sum if adds up the values in cells that meet a certain criteria. So units sold per type of pizza. And then also I have average sales, which I use the average if function, which is the same kind of idea that it finds a mathematical mean of a range of cells that meets a certain criteria. Down here is a similar kind of function use, except for now we are calculating two different criteria, which is the salesperson and the type of pizza, which is meat lovers. So here we're using count ifs to find the total order of meat lovers and then per salesperson, and this allows us to use multiple criteria instead of one. Next, we have the sum ifs, which finds these total units sold for each person, and it meets the criteria of meat lovers. And then also we have average ifs, which finds the average sales per person for the meat lovers pizza. And these three functions are very similar to the ones I used up here, except for only being the ones up top only are able to meet one criteria. The ones down here, average ifs, sum ifs, and count ifs, you can use multiple. Over here we have the date, which is we use the now function up here to do that. So this basically recalculates the date and time each time the document is changed, so that we don't have to do that manually. And then lastly, we have the index and match function together, and this allows us to pull specific rows and columns of data in a way that makes it easy to look up a piece of data without changing anything. So if I change this number right here to a different invoice number, it would pull up the corresponding total price automatically for me. Next, I'd like to move on to our business questions. Our first one being, which type of pizza generates the highest total revenue? And here we can see that it is the cheese pizza, which answers our questions that we need to keep our cheese stocked so that we can sell as much as we can, because it's obviously a well-performing pizza. And then second question would be, do our promotional offers significantly affect total sales? And we found that they do, in fact, but it's not what we were expecting. So whenever we didn't use a promotional sale, our total was higher than when we did. So that shows us that we need to change our strategy with the promotions, because it's obviously not working for us. And then our third question is, are the employees promoting our new product well? And in this case, our new product is the Meat Lovers Pizza. So back here, we can see that Eli is doing the best at selling the Meat Lovers Pizza. He's brought in the most money, which shows that we need to use him to help learn from him and to train our new employees so that we can do what he does and bring in as much profit as possible.